It's Mario,
I'm Brandon.
and we are Out of Box.
Out of the box.
Today, we are actually going to be talking about, you know it, E3.
E3.
Brandon, what were your thoughts on Microsoft's presentation?
I thought they had a lot of really good content and like emphasis on the lot. Like they showcased like a lot of different things this year, which is different for them.
Most of it was new, and a lot of it was, you said it, I think, well, more of it was just showcasing and not much talking. Just, here's what we got, enjoy. I think you put it perfectly when they went with Halo Infinite.
Halo, just right at the start, it's like, let's not wait to get into this. We're just gonna throw Halo out there, like new Halo. Like that was insane.
Not just new Halo, but new engine for Halo as well. Slipspace is what they called it.
Yeah, slip space.
And so it didn't even... I didn't even catch it was Halo at first until I think it was the wreckage ship, and then the music finally got to me.
Right, like a lot of people, I think, didn't really realize it. You know, like you just see like this world and stuff. It's like, okay, like where are we going? What's happening with this? And then for some of us, it was that Crash Pelican, and it's like,
Yes.
oh my god! And then you just hear that music, da 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 da.
Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. It looked beautiful. And then I actually went back and rewatched it, and I don't know if it was because I was on YouTube or if it was because of the new engine, but it didn't look as good the second time going through. Like the graphics looked more, I guess, bland. So I'm a little worried if this new engine's gonna be capable of keeping up with Halo.
I don't know. Like I watched it a few times. It looked pretty good.
All right, I'll agree to disagree.
Fair enough.
Though the name is different. They did confirm that it does take place after 5, but it is called Halo Infinite.
Infinite, which begs the question, why Infinite?
You got any theories?
I have a couple, but none that I'm willing to share yet until like I just like get them pinpoint accuracy theory.
Okay. I'm going to share mine. This is the first thing I thought when I saw it, and just by seeing the Chief on the Warthog and the whole world, I think they're going for that first Halo 1 ambition kind of trope where it's going to be open world. Open world Halo, you get to explore the ring. Probably not the whole ring, probably like certain parts of it, different biomes, but I'm thinking open world Halo.
You think open world Halo? That'll be like groundbreaking history for Halo as a franchise.
It would be.
How do you think they would pull something like that off, though? Like that's very ambitious if that's what they're going for this time around.
I see it more of like, okay, so it looks like they're stranded on the ring, and you're going around, and there's Marines with them as well, which, I don't know, at the ending of Halo 5, I don't know how Marines or any... We'll have to go back. My theory might be broken right off right now. But I think it would be like, it's a way to get off the ring, and there's side missions that include, getting supplies, or, holding off Covenant, or even saving prisoners of war. And you get to explore, and you get to find things, and you get to figure out what was going on with the Forerunners. And I can see them doing a lot with this being open world.
I think that's a very good case in point. Is that like, again, I do think that would be a very like ballsy move on 343's part, just because like it's way different than what Halo has been, like traditional Halo. So like,
oh yeah,
will hardcore fans of the series be upset about that? Sure, but what if they stay true to like normal Halo, like classic Halo, while also implementing like that new open world functionality? I don't know. Either way, I'm super excited for it. New Halo, and especially with the new engine, it looks great.
People might hate it either way, but I mean,
people are going to hate it. Yeah, everyone's already mad.
And then Microsoft went off to show off some of their other exclusives, that being like another Ori. I never got to play the first one.
I didn't either. I downloaded it. I feel really shameful for this. I did download it, and it sat in that never-ending digital library on my Xbox.
It happens. We're going to have to bust out the original, give our own review about it, and then see how the second one goes. But until then, I thought the first one looked amazing. It did amazing.
Yes, it did do really well whenever it originally released. And I really do like the art direction for the game. Like, I don't know like too much about it, but I really do love that art direction. So I think that the first one really deserves a playthrough right about now to get prepped for number 2.
Exactly. It made me all the more excited to play the first one. And something that a lot of people are excited for, Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3! I've never also played a Crackdown game before, ironically enough. But Terry Crews has me convinced that this is the one that I should start with.
It wouldn't be a bad place to start, especially with everything that they're doing. Wouldn't be too far off from Saints Row either, except that you can blow up everything.
Right, like that's the huge thing, like the huge appeal in Crackdown, like fully destructible environment, like just mess it all up.
And Terry Crews being in the game is probably the best thing that they could have done for it. I think he just fits in that world.
Exactly. Like, Blizzard missed out on him with Doomfist and everything, but you know what? He's coming down in Crackdown.
I still think he's going to be in Overwatch.
You just have that hope?
I have that hope.
Just hope.
He didn't go to Blizzard that one day for nothing. He's definitely in Overwatch.
Maybe they're working on something.
Going further on to more of Microsoft and what they like to show for us, they showcased that they partnered up with 5 different studios, 5 different companies, which is great. That means more content, more exclusive content for
a lot
Microsoft.
more, and that's definitely something that like they've been needing for a while now.
Yes.
It's like just like good exclusive content, and I think one of the biggest things like that we all heard from that original like acquisition announcement of those like 5 other studios and everything was Ninja Theory. Like,
Ninja,
where is that gonna go? And I'm incredibly excited to see where it goes, especially like as Xbox as like a platform and their exclusivity. Like, what are they going to bring to the table now?
Exactly. And they've always been good with indie games. They showed off 27 new indie games, including a DLC for Cuphead. So for those of you who haven't played Cuphead yet, and you're willing to lose a friend in the future, that's a good way to do it. It is a very hard, cartoonish game.
It actually, like, it is harder with friends at times.
Yes.
Like, it actually is. Like, play with your buddy. It's like, yeah, this will be a fun couch co-op adventure. It's not. It's like, what are you doing? Our friendship is over.
Right. And they added a 3rd character with more levels. I really, really want this DLC to make it like 3 players.
3 players?
Just that
like,
odd number.
3 players, 1 screen, like, just pure chaos. It's going to be like Super Bro Force, but 10 times worse.
And actually, that friend that, you've just tried to stay acquaintances with, but they won't leave you alone, it's a good way to finally get rid of them. Play Cuphead.
Just play Cuphead with them.
And now, I, for the life of me, have tried to pronounce this next game so many times, but can't. Brandon,
if it's the one I think it is, then yeah, it definitely is. You got it wrong a lot.
I'm going to try it. You guys are going to make fun of me. Sekiro?
It's Sekiro.
Sekiro. Because I was saying Sicario for the longest time.
You're saying a lot of things, actually.
It goes along with my name. I like things to end with EO.
God.
And this one I was not that impressed with. I'm not gonna lie. No, I didn't get any hype from it. We're probably gonna start disagreeing here. The whole metal arm I thought was interesting. For a second there, I thought it was Neo 2. Spoilers, but
so like for me, whenever like I was at home watching E3 live, and this just this trailer started and everything. My original thought, like I was like, is this a new Onimusha? Because I really need a new Onimusha right now. But like as like the trailer developed further, I was like, okay, this is definitely not Onimusha. What are we looking at here? And it's just this, like samurai Neo Bloodborne Dark Souls-y game, and I'm hyped for that because the world needs more Dark Souls-y games.
I don't think you're wrong. I just couldn't get into anything that they showed. The gameplay looks solid, but I had no idea what was going on after that. I thought, okay, he's got an arm that can be weaponized and can shoot grappling hooks, but other than that, nope, nothing for me.
You do have a very good point. Like, the trailer was kind of all over the place, especially for, like, a launch trailer. Like, it's okay to be cryptic and everything, but it's like, we're just going to show you a bunch of images, and, like, you'll figure it out in the long run. Like, They pulled like a Kojima if Kojima was like just really bad at pulling a Kojima.
I don't know. I'm going to have to see. I might have to eat my words later. I might even name it Game of the Year by the end of this year, but we'll see. We got to see a full-fledged trailer for We Happy Few. I know that's a game that a ton of people are looking forward to.
So I personally, like, I was looking forward to this game for the longest time. I was like, yes, it looks very Bioshocky, like it's something new, refreshing, and then like the game just never actually released. Like they had like the early access part of it. It's like, yeah, you get to, try this game and everything, but like it didn't come out ever. And at some point my hype for this game just died off. So
I'm kind of in the same boat with you. But seeing this trailer made me feel a spark, but it didn't reignite anything.
No, and that's the biggest thing. It didn't like reignite that original hype that I had developed for the game. Like, I'm definitely excited. Eventually I'll get around to it, but it's not one of those things that like I feel I need to pick up day one. I need to play this immediately. It's just like I felt like they were showing off a little bit more of the same stuff that they've already showed off.
We got a little more story though. Because the first time they ever showed the game was just gameplay, and you're like, "Whoa, this world looks interesting to be in." We got a little more. They showed a little more of what the world actually is.
The thing that I find most interesting about the game is just these little joy pills, and like I think that we all could use some of those right now. I want some joy. Sign me up for some joy.
I've never been the biggest fan of Just Cause. I played Just Cause 3.
I haven't either, but like watching this trailer was just like the most hilarious thing ever, just because of the commentary that was held while I was watching it with my friends. And it was just like, okay, look at all of these new weapons, these new gadgets and everything. You got these like little mini blimp balloons and stuff, so that way you can lift vehicles, kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5 had. And it's like, imagine doing all of this to cows. And that's the best way I can describe Just Cause. It's like chaos with cows.
Just Cause for me kind of takes me out of the immersion, because it is a game that the story seems super serious, and then it's just really wacky at the same time.
Right, like it doesn't like inherently try to be serious, but at the same time, like it does have an actual like storyline to it. Like
right.
it's got a real campaign that you follow, but also cows and cows and rockets and rockets and balloons.
I am not gonna lie. When I do play Just Cause, I don't know if I touch the story too much, just with how bored I get with it. I do spend a lot of time blowing stuff up, because you can go through most of the game progressing without touching the story.
It's like if Michael Bay directed a video game.
There we go. And now there's tornadoes.
And tornadoes.
Tornadoes. I get to finally relive my Twister fantasy.
Oh my god. It takes me back. Oh, Jump Force. Yeah, Jump Force was a thing.
That's it.
That's it. I don't know about you guys listening, but Jump Force wasn't like really super hype for me. Like I didn't get like too excited. At first I did. I was like, wait, what are they doing with this? Where is this going?
Yep.
Like the trailer leads in very well, and then like it just ends, and it's like, that's gonna be a video game, I guess.
This was probably the only one I did a little further research in, and I saw some gameplay footage of it that people were playing at E3. You said this earlier when we were talking about it, how it looks like a J-Stars 2.
It looks a lot like J-Stars 2.
And we know how well that one did. The gameplay in this one looks so boring. It's very cinematic in the fact that
very cinematic.
Stuff likes to explode. Stuff likes to Michael Bay.
It's another Michael Bay production.
But it just seems lacking, and I always tell myself, oh, it's not the finished product, it's not it, and then it always ends up, oh, yep, that actually was it. So please prove me wrong. I love me some anime, and I love me some anime crossover.
Right, like exactly, and I hope the game does well. I really do want to see more on it, but like first impressions, I'm not super impressed with the game. I mean, and I also watched further gameplay on it, and like I saw like all of the super moves, like the ults and everything that you were able to do from like the E3 demo and everything, and it does look very heavily focused on like the cinematics and everything, and how everything looks. I didn't really care about that. My biggest question for this game is, what is Light and Ryuk doing in this game? Where did that come from? Where's that going? What even is this?
No, at first I was like, oh, it's Light Yagami, and then not even 30 seconds later I go, wait, how do you is Ryuk doing all the fighting, or do you put in some really long combo and you get an insta kill?
I think the biggest thing is like, do you have the 5 seconds to call Misa over and write a name down?
Right. Or Ryuk and Light are the main antagonists of the whole story. You don't even get to play them. You just.
I mean, at that point, like
them.
you're dead unless you're near. Like that's the only way you win this game.
Essentially.
I want to see more. We'll see what happens with it. Hopefully, very soon they release more content on it.
You know, it's gonna have a bonkers story.
It's gonna be wild. That's for sure.
This one is something that I believe surprised both of us. I wasn't expecting Microsoft to talk about it.
Ooh, yeah, I definitely was not expecting this to drop at Microsoft's press conference at all.
And you guys probably know what we're talking about. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Which is, it's the first one coming to Microsoft and everything. It's coming to the Xbox One. Who would have guessed with Square Enix like actually being at E3 this year, you know, like Sony also having... Okay, we also don't talk about Square Enix, but that's not the point. With them being there, Sony being there, like, Microsoft is the first one to drop Kingdom Hearts? What is that about?
Man, they must have dropped some big bills.
They had to have. They had to drop a lot of money to, like, be the first ones to showcase that.
I do have to say, I freaking love how Kingdom Hearts has been showing off their trailers. How it's like they have the music playing in the background and they just have the voice actors talking. Like you don't hear any other sound effects but those two things.
That is something like
it's so beautiful.
I really enjoy it. A lot of people are mad about it, and I've seen a lot of comments like through a lot of different threads and forums and stuff about people saying like, where did the sound effects go? Like they just dropped off, and like they think it looks and feels very unedited, like nobody really worked on this, but like it makes a lot of sense because like all of the sound effects are there in the beginning, and then boom, you get the theme, and they're really promoting this theme, and it's a good song. It's a damn good song by Utada Hikaru.
Oh yes. Now, who's the person directing Kingdom Hearts 3?
That is a very good question that I don't know the answer to. Tetsuya Nomura.
He is the type of person that will look... If there was a level that involved a beach, he would look at every single grain of sand.
Every single
on that level
grain.
To make sure it's perfect. So I do not think for a second that the editing was rushed or anything for the trailer. I believe that it is meant to be that way because I think it's trying to convey emotion through a video game.
Exactly, and that's the big part of this. Like, and it definitely appeals to like those like longtime Kingdom Hearts fans, like myself and everything. One of the biggest things that I remember from playing those games from my youth and like to this day is the themes from all of the series and how they made me feel. To this day, like those are a very impactful thing that goes on in my life. Like I listen to those songs and, you know, like I feel that emotion. I remember the first time picking up a controller and playing Kingdom Hearts 1, and I think that's the message that they're getting across with like all of these trailers. Like they're dropping them one after another and showing that song.
I still have no freaking idea what's happening in those games.
It's very confusing. It
no
really
idea.
Is. The best thing that you can do, if you have played any of the series, just go back, play them chronologically, and then you'll still be confused. Right. Okay, so on to the next one. We talked about my favorite game for far too long.
Metro Exodus.
This is one that I have been hyped. What are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, man, I cannot wait. After spending so much time underground in Metro... I like getting to see the outside world and what's come of it, and you get to do it a little bit in Metro Redux and all that. However, you're traveling in this one, like you're going to different areas. I'm hoping to see different types of creatures and different maybe societies. Like you run into other societies that all want to mess with you. All have a bone to pick with you. It just looks great. It looks great, and it's going to be a good shooter rivaling Wolfenstein that has come out recently. So it's good.
With, like, better graphics. It's like, damn, that game looks gorgeous.
And then Microsoft, towards the end, There's not much to say about Metro. I wish there was. I wish I could say more.
We don't have a lot of info. There's not a lot of details. It just looks like a good game, and it's
something that we're hyped about.
It's Metro.
This is Metro. Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, this was a big one.
This was huge. They announced it like right in the middle, and
right in the sweet spot.
When I first looked at it, I was like, okay. I was waiting for this. My Forza. I love my cars. I love my Forza even more. And it looked like normal Forza. I was like, okay, well, how's this going to be any different than the other Horizons? And then, bam! The season changed. It went from freaking summer to autumn to winter.
So this was a big thing that got me while I was watching it live, was the season change. Obviously, I'm hyped for Forza just like anybody else, but like in the actual auditorium, like it changed to autumn. And then leaves started to fall at the press conference. It was insane. Like, I had chills, and I was like, they're doing seasons?
And as excited as I am for it, I'm also super worried. They only talked about winter and a little bit of spring. They didn't really talk about spring, but they showed it. Like, what's the difference between spring, summer, and fall that they could do?
I think a big thing is going to be just weather in general. Seasons don't really change much. And like,
right.
Winter has ice, obviously.
That's it.
They did showcase that pretty heavily.
And how the lake freezes, you discover new lands, and they're like, oh, winter's going to be so cool. And then they're like, you're back at summer.
But of course, there could also be terrain changes as far as that goes.
Right.
Like, depending on what area you're in. Whether it be like a wooded forest and whatnot, like if it's autumn.
Yeah, well, the thing... Okay, so with spring, it looked like it was raining a lot during spring. So
Which
if
makes
it's
sense.
just raining, though, it does. And they also said it's going to be weekly. Like, the seasons change weekly, not monthly. I think that's a little too fast. At the same time, if you hate a certain season, I bet you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next season to start. Because everyone, in my opinion, I think summer... As fun as it would be to drive on ice and mud and drive over a frozen lake, summer is just, I'm really competitive. And just to go one-on-one against someone during that time of the season would be my favorite time, as boring and bland as it is.
I think that whatever our worries and fears are, I think that they do have a plan for this. I think that they have thought this out, and there's a big reason why they showcased it at E3.
True.
We will definitely have to see more, but it's Forza, and it's Forza Horizon. I mean, it's slowly overtaking the mainstream Forza games, like, by a margin.
Oh, yeah. Other than the seasons, the best thing they announced was freaking all the cars in the game.
That's a lot of cars.
Are players.
And like... The chat functionality and everything, like the seamless, hey, I'm gonna meet up with like this random person. I think that's what I found most interesting about like this Forza, is that like you just run into somebody and then you just drive.
They did, however, take off collisions. Like, so when you're driving around, you can't run into anyone.
Which...
And you can get in a party, and then you can choose whether you want to run into each other or not.
It's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. I mean, like, it takes out all the trolls of the Forza community, but it also, like...
takes away kind of, like, the thrill, in my opinion. Like, I hope you're in the middle of doing something with some buddies, and then some guy just, like, comes out of nowhere.
Right, you're in the middle, like, you're
you.
going, like, 150, and then all of a sudden you run into another car, like... That was a big thing.
Yeah. I don't know. They're playing it safe. They're trying to make it to where, like, oh, you get to choose what you want to do. But we'll have to see. I'll have to play it.
We'll have to see. It's going to come to Game Pass. So if you got Game Pass, then
you basically get to play it.
Yeah,
$10.
Yeah. We'll see what they do with Forza coming up.
What did you think about The Division 2?
I thought a lot of things of The Division 2. So let me ask you this question: did you play the first Division at all?
I did.
Okay, did you play it solo? Did you play it with friends?
Mainly with friends. To me, that was the best experience, was with friends.
Okay, I also agree. I played a lot of it with friends. I played it for a solid maybe month and a half, 2 months maybe. before like I put it down and I was like, I'm okay without this game in my life.
All right.
But I really did enjoy that month and a half, 2 months that I did spend with that game. I really enjoyed a lot of things about it, but there wasn't a lot of in-game stuff for me to do. Like the Dark Zone was an okay idea, but it was very rough.
I'm gonna stop you right there because in the defense of the Division, they fixed with updates, and it was a game that later on got better.
It got better later on.
However, even later on, it wasn't what Ubisoft promised originally, which was probably what led to a lot of its downfall in the beginning. But I'm really happy that what they showed of the Division 2 was kind of true to the Division nature.
Yes.
However, it wasn't enough for me to be like, okay, this is completely different. Like, it almost looks like a DLC add-on.
It does, in a sense, look like a DLC add-on, but to your earlier point, they did perfect the game over time with updates on the original one, and I think that's a big thing that we're going to see with 2, is that perfected update. It's going to be a new story, a new adventure. Like, you get to go, it's Washington, D.C., I believe, that we're in?
Yes, Washington State.
So you get to do that with all of those updates and all of that hard work and then some. Because obviously they're not going to put out a new game with just the updates from 1. That would be insane. But I mean, it's
and
also
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
It is. But they've been one to learn from their mistakes and create better sequels like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. They dropped the ball a little bit, but then they picked it up with Origins. And
I'd say for this one,
they're not going to do a Destiny, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm cautious. I am cautiously excited for this game. I think that I will probably still pick it up day 1, just because I do want to test it out, try it for myself with friends. This is not one of those things that I really would enjoy watching other people play. I think that I do want to experience it firsthand, but whether or not it's going to be a regret of mine, I don't know yet. I like some of the updates.
I do want to talk about the gameplay or the footage they showed us, because no one plays like that. I've never been with a group of people that have been so cooperative. I've always imagined maybe one day, but it is so. One of these days, I want them to just show footage of them just messing around and someone just being like, "Oh, I got it, Leroy Jenkins."
Just
the whole
Leroy. Yes, I would like that out of any game developer to like just showcase what it really is like doing the test footage for this gameplay footage on the trailer. Nobody really does cooperate like that. I mean, like, we all have our tactics, we all have our, like, special call-outs, we develop a team and a rapport with that team, and we have our own thing, but nobody plays like that.
Nobody plays like that. Like, please, just stop doing that.
It's very automated.
Let us see, just let us see the game. Let's see the
some
gameplay.
freakouts. I mean, that Juggernaut was scary, so I probably would have cried.
I just hate bullet sponges, though.
I am also not a fan. That was my least favorite part of that trailer.
That was way too much for that guy.
Why am I watching this?
I was back and forth on the next game they showcased. Like, at first I was like, no, Okay, I'm gonna jump to a point. It was Devil May Cry. And I don't even know where to begin. This is how freaking muddled I am about this game, because I love Devil May Cry. I grew up with Devil May Cry. I love Nero. Devil May Cry 4, I played that so many times.
4 was arguably the best Devil May Cry.
Well, you gotta better be careful. A lot of people...
that's why I use the terminology of arguably the best.
No, we all know 2 is the best. No, I'm kidding. God, no. I was afraid it was gonna be... I did not like the art direction with DMC.
A lot of people didn't like the reboot. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done.
I thought the gameplay was good, and that's the most credit I'll give it. I thought the gameplay was solid. It felt like Devil May Cry. And they got rid of the lock-on system. If you guys love the lock-on system, cool. But I think being able to crowd control like that is so much more fun.
I think there should have been like some sort of functionality, to be fair, with the newest DLC, where DMC, where... like Final Fantasy 15, like where you have like either timed battle or like open combat kind of thing. Like you could have locked combat or completely free combat.
Right.
I think that would have done a huge service to DMC. I really liked DMC. I thought it was a good game, and I also really enjoyed the first set of Devil May Cry.
Yeah, but so why I was so upset was because I thought it was going to be done by Ninja again, Ninja Studios, and so I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. And then I was like, whoa, this is looking better. Okay, I couldn't get along with that girl in her country accent, and I saw Nero, and I was like, is that Nero? Why has he got a robot arm? And I saw his arm was ripped off, and I was like, whoa, this is hardcore. And then I saw Dante, and I was like, no. And then I saw the original creators coming back. He's like, all right, I'm gonna take a break from Bayonetta. I'm gonna come back to my baby and work on him. So I'm scared. That's the best I could say.
I think that change overall is good, and I think a lot of people are afraid of change.
Yeah, but I've always been one to welcome it. Just I couldn't get into DMC. Just I don't know. I thought solid gameplay. Didn't like the story direction. Did not like Dante.
I loved him.
His best fling or his best quip was "F you."
I mean that's a very fair point.
So,
I thought it was different. I took it apart from the original set of games. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it. I didn't, treat it as if like this is, original Devil May Cry. It was DMC to me.
Right.
Completely separate thing. We'll see how this one does because it is technically a direct sequel to 4.
Calling it, Virgil's coming back. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it. Virgil is going to be back.
You think?
I know.
You really think?
I know. And if I'm wrong...
I really honestly don't doubt that you're wrong.
I'll owe you one package of gum.
Get a whole gum.
One whole
gum.
One whole gum. One whole stick.
Moving on from the new DMC 2.0.
Dying Light.
Dying Light. And this is
Right.
one of those games I didn't enjoy. I did not enjoy the first Dying Light.
Didn't care.
I did play it. I actually did play this one for once. And I thought it was a bad game. I liked a lot of the mechanics of the game, but it was just bad. In my opinion.
I got nothing. No, Dying Light was interesting. I like the concept of it, but I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I didn't like the whole side quests, fetch me this, fetch me that, and it felt too... I don't know. It's like the parkour was cool, zombies were cool, nighttime was great.
Right. And that's...
But overall, the execution just didn't feel all that great, all that good. I never got to play that extended DLC, which I know a lot of people jump back on that. But no, when I saw Dying Light 2, it didn't hype me. I want them to prove me wrong. However, as of right now, I'll play it, I'll review it, and then I'll see what happens next.
I'll definitely check it out. I will play this one in hopes that I feel a different way than I felt with the first one. But for all you actual Dying Light fans, maybe you're excited about it, maybe you're not. They didn't really heavily focus on the zombie thing, which is weird. But I mean, it's Dying Light, so
yeah. Tell us what you like about Dying Light.
Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you like. Tell us, and maybe we can look at it from a different angle, but this is one of the few things I guess me and Brandon agree on.
For once.
And then, I know you are hyped for this. I was not expecting this at all. This game, Battletoads.
Battletoads! Oh my god.
We haven't had a Battletoads since Replay. I guess that doesn't count.
I mean, it's not a new Battletoads, but we haven't had a release of any sort of Battletoads format since Replay. The age gap is a little bit of a thing since you're younger than I am.
Yeah.
I grew up a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, those were the consoles that we had in our home. And one of my earliest memories was, obviously a lot of us played Super Mario Bros. With our brothers and sisters and friends. A lot of us played, Smash TV. That was a really great one. But I did that Double Dragon plus that Battletoads. And that's why I'm so hyped for this game. Not only for the meme, because the meme is real, but also because I have very fond memories of Battletoads.
And you spoke about age gap, which I think brings up a fair point to everyone who hasn't played Battletoads or hasn't taken the time to go back and play Battletoads. This is cool because they are bringing back a piece of gaming history that I hope they do well with, because Battletoads is significant when it comes to gaming. People that have never even played it have somewhat heard of it if you're a gamer.
Exactly.
And so having them have their own game on this new system is fantastic. I think Microsoft did a great job teasing that, and I think they did a better job kind of pulling a fast one on all the Gears fans.
Oh, goodness, yes.
When, boom, Gears logo, and then, Lancer through the wall, pops!
Pops! Oh my gosh. Okay, so, I'm a huge advocate for Pops. I love Pops, and I definitely didn't expect this.
No, I didn't. I was like, oh, Gears! New Gears! And then I saw Pops, and I was like, oh, I was disappointed, but then I was like, I get Gears of War Pops, because I love collecting Pops. But the crowd, the audience, I don't know if you heard them, they were so disappointed to see that they were showing Gears Pops.
It was a huge disappointment, and I think this kind of speaks true to all of what happened. Like, a main theme that happened throughout E3 was mobile games are apparently a thing that we now showcase at E3.
God. Oh, no.
And this Funko Gears of War, whatever they're doing with that, coming to iOS and Android, mobile, is that really a thing we need?
Now, for those of you who've already seen E3, you know where I'm going with this. However, for those of you that haven't, before they showed their big reveal, they showed something that, oh my gosh, I was so happy to see. Gears Tactics. I love XCOM. I love the XCOM series, XCOM 2. I've played it so much. I even Iron Manned it, and I hated myself for it, because I name all my soldiers after my friends. So to see a Gears of War Tactics game just fits the Gears universe so perfectly, and I want to play that so bad.
So here's again where we disagree. I love me a good tactics game. I've been playing them for years now, and I just don't know that I care enough about the Gears universe any longer to care about that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
I've fallen off the Gears bandwagon since 3.
It's hard. It is hard to stay on Gears. There hasn't been a good Gears since 3. No. I don't think
Gears
so.
Since 3, but
Nothing to keep the train going, and I feel like their time almost feels like it's passed, but they have a chance to make it back. If this Gears Tactics ends up being phenomenally great, I think it should just replace the Gears franchise.
I do hope that it succeeds. I hope it does well.
And then finally, for the great showcase, was Gears 5.
Gears 5, which I really do hope this one goes well. I hope that this one is not a Gears 4, and it's not a Gears of War Judgment. I want this... I'm sorry, we don't speak of that name.
No, we don't speak of Judgment.
We don't say that name here. I want this to do well.
What makes this one so different than all the other Gears, Brandon?
If you ask me, nothing.
You get to play as Kate!
Which is hype. Like, that's a really cool addition and everything, but they didn't really showcase anything that makes me want to jump back in. Again, I really want this one to do well. I want it to be good, and I am going to pick it up, but nothing hyped me, even Kate.
No. I love the fact that Marcus's son is not going to be part of this game, because that was one bland character.
And he's just making rules now.
Yeah, he's just, I'm team captain, you're going to do as I say. And it's like, oh, no. And this one just seems way more emotional. I know they tried to make 4 emotional, but this one seems like there's something happening.
It does seem a lot more in-depth with how you relate to the character and like your emotions as you go along that journey with the character that you're playing as. So I am interested to see how that pans out.
And then something else, I didn't see any other characters. It was just Kate and the other guy who I cannot remember his name. I'm not going to lie.
Token guy.
Token. So it makes me wonder if this Gears game is just going to be 2 players co-op and not 4 player co-op.
That would be a very interesting thing. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if that's the route that they went, because right off the bat, as we see in the trailer, like, they get sent off on their own. What would really actually surprise me is if they did 4-player, but 2 separate split screen kind of thing, where like one of you is Kate with one guy, and then one of you actually does go off as JD Phoenix off on the other part of the missions.
That'd be
kind of like a way out where you can like separate from each other, but in a team of 4 essentially.
That super crazy. I would, if anything, I would bet that they would do like the Master Chief route, where it's like you just play as a clone of them, but you're in a Carmine outfit. You're just in a regular COG outfit. Like, you don't exist, but you're there.
But you're there.
Nope. And that was E3, man. Like, that was everything that E3 had to offer.
They closed it out with a big exclusive. I will give them that. They started off strong with Halo. They're like, this is what we've always been about, and here's what we're still about with Gears. So,
and how do you think Microsoft did, like, for the entire E3 event, like, comparatively to, I guess last year?
I think that they definitely made a huge improvement over last year. Not only did they have the quantity, like just so many games that they announced, and quality games. There was a lot of really good stuff showcased this year.
Oh yeah,
that's the big thing. They didn't really say that much. Like Phil Spencer didn't like come out and say many words or anything. They just let all of the videos do the talking for them,
which I love. I want every E3 to be like that. I do not need someone out there reading off a freaking script telling me how great their console is.
Which, by the way, we'll get to this later, but also so glad Aisha Tyler did not make an appearance at Ubisoft. We will get to that later, but...
Oh, man. All right, well, that's been E3. This has been Out of Box, and I hope to see you guys later.
All right, you guys take care.
Cyberpunk!
What?
Oh my god!
What is this? Yes! Like, E3's shutting down, and then all of a sudden, you got hacked.
You got hacked, boy. Did you see the... Well, everyone saw it. How, like, CD Projekt Red...
Yes.
How they did the tweet?
Yes.
Where it was just the beep?
Yes.
Oh
my god.
You know, in my head, everyone made their own little personal, like, bingo... E3. I made my own. We'll have to talk about it later. Cyberpunk was on there. They still shocked the living crap out of me.
So I was taken aback. I was surprised. You know, like they were closing out E3 and everything. And by that point in time, like I was just talking with my buddies and everything. How I thought like their showcase went and everything. They're doing their thing, closing out the ceremony, and then all of a sudden, like just static and all these lights and like. Just Cyberpunk. We didn't get any gameplay. No.
It was a trailer that showed the world. Completely different than the first trailer they ever showed to us.
Right.
Like, this one's more bright, colorful. It is narration. We got to see the protagonist, which I'm assuming is...
I assume so.
Or one of protagonists.
That is a very good point, sir. What if we get to play multiple characters?
That would be great. And... CD Projekt Red has been one of my favorite developers ever since they made The Witcher.
Bad game.
Oh my gosh. Probably in my top 10 for sure.
No, it's a very good game. And I suspect this game is going to be even better.
And they're such a good company. They're not going to try to get our money. They're not going to be throwing out DLCs unless they are worth paying. And there's not going to be any microtransactions, no loot boxes. And if there is, I'll be super ashamed, but I do not expect that from them because they've never done that in the past.
And I think one of the big things to take away from like them just all of a sudden, like, this is how they're going to end it, like, surprise Cyberpunk. Look at the original one, like, that we originally saw versus this trailer. Like you said, like, it's a lot more vibrant and everything. Maybe we see the main character versus, like, more than one main character.
Ooh, pulling some Detroit stuff.
They are working super hard on this game. I hope they pull some Detroit stuff. I hope I get to play, like, several people.
It looks fantastic. The world looks so crowded. So if this is going to be an open world, futuristic, sci-fi, Blade Runner type of game, I don't even know. I can't even, like, imagine how they're going to do it, because how Witcher was put together and how you had so much land, this looks the complete opposite, crowded. If I get to shoot down flying cars for a mercenary assassination job, and I get to just go up and steal it and go into a penthouse and start blowing up the place like they showed in the trailer, I am going to go nuts.
I think that if that's the route that they choose to take with this game, like free roam, like just do whatever you want in this game. Obviously, like it's Cyberpunk, you're gonna have like your actual like story, but if you could do whatever you want in this game, that's gonna be the game. That's gonna be that game of the year once it releases.
Oh, yeah, that's something that
hands down
could even. Now it's ambitious, but could even topple over Grand Theft Auto.
I think it has the potential to at this point.
It seriously does. Now, enough about our hype. The game, like the actual trailer, if you look at it, other than it being vibrant, the world itself is very, very tech based.
Yes,
like you saw so much, and it looks so. I mean, he even says it. You know, it's one of the most crime-ridden cities in the nation.
But everybody keeps coming.
Everyone keeps going,
and I think that's a big key point to this game is that I think once we have it in our hands, that this is going to be a constantly like moving world, like a changing world. Like there's going to be people that come into this game and then they're gone, and then you've got somebody else coming in. Like new things are always going to be happening in this game. That's what I got from the trailer.
Now, another thing I wanted to point out was that so present day, you can't just go around, you know, messing with people. You can't, or you can't go around
could if you
shooting up the place without repercussions. At least this game, there were people dying left and right. Like people were suffering on the streets. There was people in what looked to be VR like setups, just like short circuiting and dying right there. And like this game is going to be dark.
Yes.
This is going to be one dark game.
I think that was one of the huge underlining tones that a lot of people missed, was the fact that this world is so far evolved, but it's also under-evolved in that aspect.
They are so help me out, Brandon. Thank you.
Desensitized.
To the point where death is meaningless, or maybe we got some altered carbon thing going on.
That would be very interesting.
And your subconscious is just... Because there were some people that were so cyborged out, you couldn't tell if they were robot or human.
It takes current, like, present-day body mods to the furthest level that, like, I can picture. You know, like, with my imagination.
Oh, yeah. Any theories for this game?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect of this game. It's a mystery to me. I've got a lot of hope for it. I really don't have any theories. I don't know what to say all other than I'm excited.
There we go. And how about that sweet, sweet ride?
Oh my god. Yes.
That sweet, sweet ride.
Just all day.
Now, before we wrap this up, I have to know, one, what was your pleasant surprise? What was something that you weren't expecting, but you were super happy to see?
So obviously, like, after covering all of these games, something that was a pleasant surprise for me was Kingdom Hearts. I talked about it before, and of course I will ramble on for days about this game. I'm very hyped for this game. I'm willing to spend infinite monies, I should say, on this game. But seeing it at Microsoft's press conference, you know, first, that was a big shock. Seeing it there all together was a shock. Obviously, like, we all knew it's coming to Microsoft, it's coming to Xbox. They're going to get their hands on it and everything. We're going to be able to play it on Xbox for the first time. But seeing it showcased there with Square there and PlayStation, that was just very interesting to me. Very pleasant surprise, because I was willing to wait the couple of days to watch footage on that game. What about you? What was...
my pleasant surprise?
What was yours?
Gears Tactics. I
no!
freaking love that thing! I was not expecting a tactics game to be announced at all, except for like another Fire Emblem, spoilers. And then they said Gears Tactics, and it freaking shocked me. I was like, what? No way! And I'm so happy. That's my pleasant surprise. Now, Brandon, what game are you most hyped about that was announced from Microsoft?
So, they showcased a lot.
Yes.
Emphasis on a lot. We've covered this. It is so many games. We didn't touch base on a lot of them. it's got to be Battletoads. I mean, so this one was also a pleasant surprise, but like it's like, yes, give me Battletoads. Like, do it for the meme and do it for my childhood. I'm extremely excited for this game. I don't even care if they don't show any more footage and they just drop it 20 years from now. Like, I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up. What about you?
Cyberpunk. I love The Witcher. It is like Mass Effect used to be my favorite game series, and Witcher took that placehold when I played them. So having CD Projekt Red working on a sci-fi, I've always preferred sci-fi over fantasy. There's nothing more that I want than to see some gameplay from that. I want some more Cyberpunk.
I do too. Speaking of BioWare and their Mass Effect series, they've got a new game, and next time we are actually going to be talking about it, Anthem.
Whoo!
So join us next time, and we'll be talking about EA and a couple of other people from E3. Super excited.
Super excited. And this has been Mario.
I'm still Brandon.
And this has been Outside the Box.
In the box.